What a great place for the battery to die. It's another day, and, well, you're probably not even going to see this for a couple of weeks anyways, but at least I'm consistent filming right after the pickups. So Sunday was a lot better. And start out, there was a community sale going on. It was only like 2 or 3 houses, but one of them said that there was going to be new... God, my throat. Hold on a second. Wii games. These next 2 houses I spent $75, and it was very much worth it. Right off the bat, I saw that they had Wii games there. I started flipping through. I saw Sonic and the Secret Rings. I was tempted by it, but I've definitely seen enough bad reviews of that game to not want it. And then I saw Super Paper Mario. It's not bad. I saw this 21-inch LCD. It has like a ton of hookups on the back. You probably don't care. We're not done. I asked the kids there if they had any Game Boy or DS or something like that, and so they brought out this puppy, and they also brought out a regular fat silver DS. When they opened the red case up, they had a red 3DS with a rocket motorcycle, it looks like. And you know, funny it is, I really hate if the screens were scratched or anything, but this kid never even removed like the little plastic sheets, I guess, that may cover the 3DS screen when you get it. So safe to assume that that screen is in good condition. And you know, there are only a couple scuffs along the edges, but you know, months ago I saw that there was you know, a couple games on 3DS I wanted, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be years until I see these things. And you know, in the last 2 months I started that first sale, I got the first whiff of it. I got the cases, empty cases, and the mails, and the charging cradle, and then that kid a couple weeks later had the $4 3DS, the broken cartridge slot, and now I have a fully working 3DS. And they wanted $25 for the monitor. They wanted $1 for each game. They had a ton of DVDs as well, movies. And let's see. This came with a charger and a stylus, and it's obviously not the Nintendo charger, but it doesn't matter. It still works. Plus I have a regular charger as well. And he brought out a ton of games as well. And I said, could I have 3 games with the DS? He said, sure. And then I asked him, how much for each additional game? And he's like, 25 cents. Basically, you know, I guess they figure that these things are small. They're like pieces of candy, but each one of these in the stores, you know, 30, 40 bucks. So it's ridiculous. And the mother was trying to like convince him not to get rid of this DS or the 3DS, because she's like, oh, isn't that the newer one? He's like, yeah, but I don't ever play it. And so, you know, I pick out the 3 games. I really can't tell you which games I picked out, because I already saw all their games I wanted, and I kind of knew that I was going to buy them. But yeah, and you know, when it came to pricing and everything, that was $25 supposedly, and then I was like, how much do you want for the 3DS? And they were kind of umming and ahhing about it, and I was like, well, how about $50 for everything? And the parents were like, sure, That sounds good. So anyways, the games I got were Skylanders Giants, Mario Tennis Open, a lot of 3DS titles here. Paper Mario Sticker Star, Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem. I have the one for GBA, so whatever. Super Mario 64 DS, Pokemon White, and Mario Kart 7, which will go nicely with my empty case. Well, it has the mail and everything. That was cool. I told them to hold the monitor because there were other yard sales going on that day, and I didn't want to be dragging that thing along with me. I told them I would be back in like an hour or so. It ended up being more like 2.5, but they seemed pretty nice when I came back late. I should have left them my number and everything, but I would have told them. So anyways, I go over to the house next door. Right off the bat, I notice he has an Atari with a ton of games, and I look to the right, closer to the opening of the garage door. In a bin, he had our old pal, the Super Nintendo, with 4 games. These two have got to be the most awesome games in the world. MLBPA Baseball, NCAA Basketball. Now these are actually good games. Tetris Attack and Donkey Kong Country. Well, I don't know about Donkey Kong Country, but I love Tetris Attack. But I even love more these dust covers. I don't know why these get thrown away, but they seem like I come across them less often than the Nintendo dust covers, all the hookups and stuff. Pretty sweet ass turbo controller with a nice 6-button and regular button layout. There's 6 buttons on here, like the Genesis arcade pad, but then they also have the shoulder buttons, so I guess you can use the L and R up here or the L and R down there, which is a pretty nice feature. And of course it has turbo and a regular controller as well. So, to my amazement, in the Atari bin, well, first of all, I should point out that Super Nintendo was in a tray that was definitely made to fit the Atari 2600. On this lower part here, there was the Atari 2600, and then there were like grooves all around that big square where you would pop in your games. Anyways, it seemed like it was, I should have probably taken that, but I didn't. So, but anyways, he had a bin with an Atari and some games, but a lot of them were just cartridges, but there were also a lot that were brand new, sealed, even as the little hang tab. So we got Joust, Dig Dug, Gravatar, Pole Position, Miss Pac-Man, Battle Zone, and Kangaroo. Now the funny thing about Atari 2600 games are, even though they're old as shit, brand new, sealed boxes, games, whatever, they aren't worth anything. I think they're normally around like $10 each. Now, like, the pricing and everything, the guy was like, I asked him how much he wanted. He put on a little. I felt he was trying to put a little. It seemed a little fake when he was thinking about it. And he said $40 for everything. I was like, $40? Immediately cut him in half. 20. He's like, for all that? And, he said, well, how about 30? And I was like, well, how about 25? And we met there, so everything was happy. I gathered all that up, and I went to another sale, not really thinking about how much space I had in my pack, because I was pretty darn full. I went to 2 more sales, ended up finding this nice, not game related, but I love fairy tale books and the illustrations and stuff, and this is pretty much like all the stories of Beatrix Potter and, like Peter Rabbit and junk. And that was $1. It's in like brand new condition. I went back to that sale the other day thinking that, I really should have grabbed this watch. The thing about going back to a sale is for a specific item, you're already putting yourself in a position where the person may think that you're on to the value of something or whatever. So I was thinking that they might price this higher if it was actually there. And a funny thing happened. So I go up there, I tell them about this watch that I was interested in, and I said, oh, it had like a heart rate meter, it tells you, it has a pedometer. I knew the other features like GPS, but I really didn't want to get into it because obviously that would kind of clue them in on the price. Has everything in there, the watch, the band or whatever that goes around the chest. This is a fantastic watch. Anyways, I find it, and there was a lady there and a guy there, and the lady had left to take a phone call or something, and I'm sitting there with the guy, and he's kind of like asking me questions about the watch and stuff, and I really wanted to take his mind off the watch because he would then get curious and look it up because he has an iPhone or whatever. And so he asked me the name of the watch and everything. Oh, I don't know. I'm looking around for it, and it was told him the name, and he starts looking it up on his phone. And then I'm trying to like pick out other things to ask him questions about and slow his progress down, hoping that the lady comes out and I can get the heck out of there. But I'm still making conversation with the guy. Anyways, he looks up the price, finds out that it's $300 brand new, and selling on eBay used for like $170. So I'm like, ah, shit, I'm not gonna get. I did not have any money left. I had $15 left. I'm having a conversation with him. We're looking up things on the internet. The lady comes out and he says, we were trying to get a price on this. I had offered this originally $5 for the guy before he even looked everything up, but he said he was going to wait for the lady. So, he starts talking to the lady and says, like, we were doing research on the watch and it turns out it's this much price and blah, blah. I was like, oh man, I'm never going to get this thing for $15. And I'm guessing maybe it was because the friendly chat and the nice company I gave them, but they had a very magnanimous attitude when the lady was like, well, I'll give it to you for $20. And I went to my wallet and I had exactly $15 left. So yeah, I said, I got $15, this is all, and I showed them my wallet's empty. And she's like, okay, got a great deal. And I was like, yes, I did. So, because I spent so much time there and the other sales, and I was already like 2 hours late, over 2 hours late, getting back to the place. And, oh, by the way, I did also swing by the Goodwill store, and I found an empty case for Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. I was pushing it when it came to getting back, but yeah. Anyways, I get back there, and I was thinking in my mind, man, I didn't ask those kids if they had any of the mails and cases for the 3D for any of the games, and they ran inside and they brought back Paper Mario and Mario Tennis games. So I saw that they had the Star Wars DVD. I asked how much this was, and I actually had change. I had coins, but I had no bills left. And I remember all the DVDs were $1, and so I was like, oh, can I get this as well for $1? And they were like, oh, you can just have it. They were like, well, you've gone through all this trouble, and I was like, I went through all this trouble. You guys were the ones who was holding on to this monitor for 2.5 hours for somebody who might not have come back. But I gave them $50 for the 3DS and the monitor. This place was closer to my home, and it was this monitor was a little bit more unwieldy than the other one, so I pretty much just walked with it, holding it in one arm while just guiding my bike with the other. But it was only maybe 2 miles or so from my house. So yeah, I would say that was a pretty damn awesome day. I hope you guys had some good luck. You just have to get out there, every day, be consistent, because this stuff doesn't happen every weekend. There have been weekends where I've had little sprees, where one after the other, but you have to be consistent and get out there, and you'll find good stuff. So anyways, get out there and get hunting.